Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sit Down and Log Down with me, Joey Emilio, and of course, there's always a guest on my show. Tonight we have Isabella Jane is on the show. I don't know if she'll have her friend with her. We haven't discussed that yet, but maybe the friend will. I don't know. We'll see. But before I bring her on, I would just like to remind people that this is a show where I interview comedians and we have a bit of fun. We are going to play a game with the people that are watching a bit later during the show. It's going to be a very fun game. I call it the Interrogation game, and I'll explain that when we get to it. Also, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's going to be, I don't want to say different, but I have a Zapper code, which is on the screen at the moment. Please, same as before, whatever donations that are made tonight, 80% goes to my guests, 20% to me. After proceeds, which aren't many, that's why I chose Zapper, because they take a much smaller cut than Quicket. So if you're feeling giving today, please donate. This is what I do to try and help my fellow comedians and artists at the moment. As you know, during lockdown, we don't have a lot of options. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce my guest for the evening. She is a very talented woman. I have been getting to know her a bit before the show. She's been in theater, and now she's a comedian, ventriloquist. And we're going to get to know her because I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know her. I don't know her at all. This is the first time we've met. It's going to be very interesting. I have so many questions. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together, even though we're not going to hear it, and welcome Isabella Jane.
And hi, everybody watching.
Yay! Yes, thank you for being willing to come onto the show and have a bit of fun. We already have people tuning in. We have Mr. Punisher saying hi. Chico says hi. Yanni Vandervelt. I really screwed up that name. He's a regular on the show. Willem is here saying, how's it? Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so Isabella. Is it Isabel or Isabella?
Isabella.
Okay,
I always had, I had Afrikaans tannies was like, hello, Isabel. And
I'm like, the same tunnies that squeeze your cheeks and stuff and oh, yay, yes. What?
I'm like, It's like, I've always wished Corona was a thing. It's yeah.
Cool, man. All right, so I'm gonna ask you, because again, this is the first time you and I are meeting. I actually only heard about you when you were on Laughter on Lockdown with Mario.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw you. I saw you perform. I really enjoyed your performance on that. So let me ask you, straight from the get-go, the typical question. When and how long have you been a comedian?
Sure. I think I've been funny for most of my life. I was born and people thought it was a joke, so that happened. But it's not really even the thing. I started singing when I was 5, and that was my life, and it still is. And then I started ventriloquism, practicing when I was 12, and then my first professional show was when I was 16 years old, which was South Africa's Got Talent.
Nice.
And that's I found the funny with Rosie, who is my puppet, who we will bring her out a bit later.
Okay.
And she was the funny one, and then I realized, oh, I'm actually funny. Well, she's funny. And then we went on, we came second there a couple of years ago, and yeah, we've been doing the comedy round since then. So for about five years now, and recently I thought, let me try my hand at comedy without Rosie, which was hectic. I've never felt naked on stage. I was like, this is the scariest thing. I've got so much respect for comedians, because I was like, I don't. My first week, I realized I wasn't funny. So then I carried on, and then I became funny. So it was this process of actually learning and relearning so many times in my life. And now use the comedian, just typical stand-up in its raw state, those skills into bringing more funny with Rosie. So I would say we've been funny for 5 years.
Okay.
I wasn't funny for 5 years. I probably a year ago I started becoming funny.
So South
But
Africa's Got Talent. Sorry, South
yeah,
Africa's Got Talent. I gotta ask. Tell us about that experience. I mean, you just kind of lightly mentioned that.
I'm in there. Just like,
Come on, how was that? You say you got second. That is amazing. So tell us, like, flip, man, how was it to be, just that experience?
no, it was. It was one of the most. I think it was the most incredible experience in my life so far. I did it when I was 16 years old,
Wow.
and I happened to be writing my matric exams. That's another story, but my matric exams at the same time as competing in the finals. And I remember going in there thinking like, oh no, I'm gonna just actually make a fool of myself because now I'm trying this stupid thing, ventriloquism, and I'm not singing and I'm wearing a little dress, and I thought this is just gonna be the worst idea. But they ended up loving me, and I went on to the next round, and then the next round, I was like, the next round, and then a 3-year-old DJ beat me. So I thought, okay,
I like
I don't know.
how I like how you bring that out at the end, like, yeah, this freaking 3-year-old.
Know which year it was. We all know what year that was. Because DJ got
Wait. Do you know if the 3-year-old DJ is still DJing?
yeah, and I'm still doing ventriloquism.
You guys should do like a duo thing,
You know what? You know what the funny thing is? It's like I was an adult then, and I'm still an adult now. He's no longer a 3-year-old DJ.
Hmm, exactly.
No, he was the cutest little thing. I mean, he's so sweet. And oh my goodness, I remember in the finals there was this moment where he was doing this, and then he turned around, and the beat dropped, and I was like, whoa, okay, I've lost. And I did. I came second to him. It was. I mean, you know what it's like. It ends up being the right thing, the right outcome for me. It made me work a lot harder, and just be far more driven. I was very sad for a while, but it was one of those things where I really grew from it.
Yeah.
From the experience. And I mean, the platform is incredible. The team is amazing. Yeah, amazing experience all around.
Someone there, Malcup Media, who's joined us, says, try DJ ventriloquism. I don't know if that's an option for you. But
I tried my hand at music producing. I got myself in such a rut last year. I was like, okay, I'm going to become a producer. Okay, fine. Take that, DJ.
Oh, man. So you say you sing as well. So you're
Yeah.
still a singer as well. Okay.
That's the thing. And also in our act, that's very much
Okay.
like a we do. Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Tell us a bit about, I mean, don't bring her out now, but this is also something that's always interesting with the ventriloquists and stuff like that. How did you come up with the character Rosie?
It happens to be an absolute extension of me. When I was in school and before I started her, I was quite shy in school and just in normal life. I was quite an introvert and I didn't know how to talk to people in the right way. And I was also bullied in school. And I came across the idea of ventriloquism when Terry Fator won America's Got Talent. As you can see, the plot thickens. And I tried my hand at it, and I was practicing day in and day out at school. And my English teacher, Mr. Savage, that's not a lie, his name was Mr. Savage, he heard that I was, he heard it, and he suited it. He heard that I was learning ventriloquism. And he also knew that the class bullied me. And he then said, Isabella, we've got a double period. So you've got 1 hour. I know you have your puppet with you today, so make the class laugh. I was like,
Wow.
sorry? And no, because I didn't want to talk to these people. I didn't like them. They didn't like me. But I did. I had to. So I took Rosie out. I had a voice. I had the look of her. I didn't know who she was yet, and she just started roasting the class and just giving it to them and just talking, and they found it absolutely hilarious. And through that, I found a way of dealing with bullies and not being horrible, but actually making them see what they're doing and actually making them laugh. And then that's when I found a side of myself that I didn't know that was full. That was quite strong, that was quite witty, quite quick, a little bit rude here and there, still clean, and that's Rosie. And she's just grown more and more, and as I've grown with her, I've also become that person to an extent, and I've become far more outgoing and witty, I hope, and yeah, it was really a natural process of just spending 10 years with her on my hand talking and getting to know her and seeing what she has to say, because we've all got that thing in our heads that's not us, that's someone else, you know.
It does it make it easier when it comes to like performing with a puppet? You get to be almost like you said now, like it's an alter ego almost, but at the same time it's you. We all know that. But I envy ventriloquists because when it comes to moments of heckling, I think those are like the best moments.
Yeah. No, I mean, she can't get in trouble. She's a little pink puppet. She can say whatever she wants. It's like Conrad Koff. He can say what he wants and how he wants to, and no one's going to be angry with him because he didn't say it. The puppet did. So to an extent, it does make it a lot easier, but also I find myself thinking, like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like the other day, I was filming a cooking show, and I was like, I'm now trying to talk for two people, and I'm cooking with one hand, and I can't cook, and I'm trying to present. And I was like, I ended up speaking and Rosie's mouth wasn't moving. And I was like, okay, clearly I can't focus on all of these things at the same time. And it's two completely different brains. I remember once I was talking to an American man and a little South African girl, and I was talking to the man while the girl was talking to Rosie. And then when I was listening to the man, Rosie was responding to the little girl, and I still have no idea how on earth I had two actual conversations. I don't know what any of them were about because I don't remember them. It was too much for my brain. Somehow it happened, and that's what comedy is like for me.
Yeah.
I get, and I'm like, I don't know what I said, but they were laughing, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can imagine. Yeah, that's going to be quite tricky. But I'm just picturing now you talking with this whole thing that's happening. How has it been though as a female comedian doing ventriloquism in the comedy industry? Do you go to open mic nights? Do you do all that stuff, or are you like super busy now? Like, okay, not now, but I mean before lockdown. Booking, like how has your career been since doing SA's Got Talent?
It's been quite good. I found myself put quite quickly into the variety box and the corporate variety box, which, I mean, as as we know as performers, that's like, okay, cool, I can make something. But I found myself there, which was amazing, and then I kind of got to a space where I kept doing corporates for people telling me what to do, and I wasn't telling my story and my truth and my funny. And when I started doing all the open mics in Johannesburg, I was at Kitcheners to Puppies I was doing all of them just there doing comedy, and it was going really, really well. Then I actually ended up going to China, which we can get to in a sec. But I think being a female comedian, also with a little pink puppet, it is a little bit tough. I think girls doing comedy can agree that we kind of feel that we are, well, I'll speak for myself, that I have to make people laugh by saying certain things. And I've had to somehow break the mold of putting myself down as a woman to make men laugh, and not do dirty comedy, because that's not really me, and that seems to be what people really, really love and laugh at, which, I mean, it is funny, but I found it quite tough to really break through the barrier and the fear of staying true to myself, of not not being dirty, not doing this, not doing that, and then on top of that, having a little pink puppet that looks like a 6-year-old. I mean, it was just barrier after barrier that I've had to break through. But I mean, it was successful. It was well received. I think Rosie has a way of breaking through any barrier, which is why I kind of stick to her and not the naked comedy, which I take my hat off to. Women thrive in it.
It's interesting that you say that you were scared to talk about certain things. If you don't mind, I'd like you to elaborate a bit more on that, because yes, some female comedians do tend to talk about, I don't know, the normal, or not normal, but like I know that some of them will talk about putting down men, or their relationships, or their period pains. They talk about that kind of stuff. Is that the stuff that you wanted to steer away from?
Well, I wanted to steer away from putting men down or putting women down in the process. I mean, there's always the sex topic that I just I steer away from in comedy, but also just a lot of dirty comedy that women seem to do towards men, which is easy because I mean you guys are terrible, but like it's I learned to stay away from it. I remember. Hypocrite. I remember. I mean, one of my sets is just completely about my ex-boyfriend because he was an absolute piece of work, and I mean, I wasn't blatantly rude. I just called him a dwarf and one of the 7 dwarfs in Snow White, and it was just about him being grumpy, and I mean, it was just fun and games, but it was actually quite therapeutic for me, so I can see the appeal. But I try to talk about real things. I mean, guys get to talk about real things. I want to talk about real things too. Driving problems or, politics, which I don't like talking about either. So it's like the normal things. I mean, not everything is about period pains. Yeah, they suck. Everyone knows that. It's not that funny. So we can move on.
Exactly, yeah.
But I mean, then again, there's a time and place for that comedy, and I just felt at the time that I wasn't the person to do that comedy. That there were women who are born to do that comedy, and I wasn't one of them.
That's fair. So in other words, you were more finding your own voice and your own topics that you like to talk about, and there's nothing wrong at all with that. You as an artist can obviously talk about what you want. What do you talk about in your comedy? Is it like just life experiences, or is it, certain observations that you see in everyday life?
Well, for me, it's generally about. I talk a lot about my family. I think they're hilarious. So I just mock them. They're lovely, which is why I can mock them. and my exes. So it's for me, it's things that I know really well. But I find the comedy with Rosie is 100% just her observation on life. I mean, today we were doing a show for children, which naturally I have to do quite clean, and she was talking about China, and just going on about that and teaching the kids Chinese, and maybe she can teach you a little bit later, but it's really her outlook. I remember when Zuma was a hot topic, it was just what Rosie felt about it, and whether it made sense or not, people just it worked for her. Because she's a puppet who has an opinion on a politician, and that's just funny. Or she's a puppet who has an opinion on coronavirus, and that's funny. So with her, it's really anything that's hot that she'll just mention and talk about, really.
Fantastic. I like what I'm hearing, because you basically just have fun on stage with this alter ego, and whatever happens, happens, and you play off of it. If the crowd reacts, you play off of it, which is fantastic. When do we get to meet Rosie? I think you've been intrigued a few people. Let's bring her out after our game. So I'll bring the game on a bit sooner. I just want to ask a little bit more about you, Isabella. So cool. I also don't want to ask too much, because I don't want you to give away the game, if that makes sense. Like, if you know what I mean. There's some sentences that you've given. I don't want you to give me too much information about yourself, because then it's going to be very challenging.
Little hints throughout this entire thing, though.
Really? All right. Well, I hear a bit of an accent. It's not.
It happens.
Speaking of accents and being a ventriloquist, are you good at accents? Like, can you do?
I think I am quite good at the accents. But it depends what accent you want.
Okay, Russian.
Russian is quite darker, and then the Polish is lighter for a woman.
American.
Oh, just American, you can just talk like that. I think it's kind of off, but I just have to get into it. I think it might be a bit better.
It's really good. Mexican. Spanish. Mexican, Spanish, whatever.
I wanted to kind of just start speaking Spanish.
That's a song. That's not an accent. That's a song.
And you can sing and you start singing.
Think of what's her name? That actress that's in Modern Family.
Oh my goodness. Sophia.
Yes. She's
how
more
does she-
Cuban though. She's
Yeah.
I think she's Cuban more than anything else, or some other southern.
My worst thing is like if I start laughing, I start being so hard about it. I'm like, and I always somehow I always slip into an Indian accent. I could be doing like Irish, and suddenly I start speaking like I'm Indian, and I don't know how it happens. I'm just like, okay.
That actually happens quite a lot.
Like, oh, please speak American and speak American. And I'm like, oh, okay, I will speak. And I'm like, that's not American, Bella. That's just not American.
Brilliant. Okay, here's a challenge for you. Christopher Walken. He's got like a bit of a like, hey, I want to go to town, go home. Where's Rosie? Where? He's got like this weird like like almost like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's like I don't know, it's weird.
It's funny.
We have some people saying they want. Someone asks if you can do a Irish accent.
The Irish, so the Scottish goes, "Who's your daddy?" And then the Irish go, "Who's your daddy?" So that's there. You go. You get the Irish like that.
Chinese. You gotta do Chinese. Come on.
What? Chinese. Okay, so so I would go. Okay, I want this for oh, it's $50. No, not can do. It's 50. No, I'll give you 25. No, 50. Okay. I'll give you 30. No, 25. I give you 30. 20. I'm going. Okay, I give you 20, and I give you this. Cool. There you go.
Yeah, you definitely stayed in China for a while.
Character. It's not just for the accent. It's character.
So let's talk a bit about that. You mentioned earlier that you've been in China. Was that for teaching, like everybody else?
No, not like everybody else. Although it's not a bad idea. No, but I actually went to China for musical theatre. I was touring with the musical, so I went to Singapore, I went to Japan, and then I ended up, I don't know how, in China for 4 months, and it was something. It was something.
And this was before Corona and all that stuff, right? Like this.
Well, I was in Wuhan in last year, September. Apparently, the first case was in August, which means I was in Wuhan while it was there, which no one knew about. Yeah, I went to 10 different cities, including Wuhan. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful city. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It just has the coronavirus, which has made it not as pretty anymore. Yeah, I got home just before Christmas. So really a month shy of everything hitting the fan and spreading into the entire world.
Well, I mean, you were there. It's been way over 2 weeks, so clearly you're okay.
Yeah, honestly, guys. And if you don't think that I brought it here, no.
Wait a second. Yeah, you could have.
It wasn't me, okay? I didn't even get sick. I didn't even have jet lag. That's how not sick I was. I didn't even have jet lag.
I didn't even have jet lag.
Comment saying, I knew the coronavirus came here earlier. Okay, calm down. That's not me. And even if it was, We haven't come into contact. So
Oh man.
spent 4 months and I traveled to 10 different cities and I spent no more than like 14 days in a hotel room and it was magical. But I didn't understand anything that anyone was saying, and I think I nearly got kidnapped a few times, and I think I shut an illegal bar down. I mean, there are many things that happened that I don't know if people will believe me if I tell them. So ultimately,
Okay. Whoa. See, you do this thing where you just mention things and then you just glide over them. You shut a bar down. Explain.
no, I made a joke about a bar as I was walking past it. The next day it was closed and it never opened again. I think they were listening to me and then they shut it down.
Oh my word, that's so funny. Like, do you remember what the joke was that you said?
I was probably something about like drugs or something that I, mentioned rudely, but that.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right. So, okay. So you were in China, you traveled around, musical thing, awesome, came back, don't have the Rones. Although someone does say that you could be asymptomatic.
Calm down here, guys. My parents are like not old, but they're like in that category of like, oh, you're old, you're gonna like be bad with corona, and they're that age, and they're fine. Okay, they've been fine. I'm not gonna defend myself anymore because, guys, I was there in September. It only came here in like February.
That we know of.
So for all we know, it could have been in Rosie's box the entire time, and I just didn't open the box. Then I opened the box that same day that Italian guy came back, and
Italian guy. Was it an Italian guy?
well, I don't think he was Italian. I just think he went to Italy, which basically means you're Italian. Because I mean, you come back from that place changed. So
I have a friend who's Italian. Now I'm scared. All right, so let's play that game. So I'll explain how the game works. So for those of you who are watching for the very first time, I like to play this game with my guests during sit down and lockdown. I call it the interrogation game. So basically, if anybody's watched Jimmy Fallon, he plays the same game on his show every now and again with celebrities. So Isabella and myself have prepared 3 statements each. So 3 statements about myself. She's prepared 3 statements about herself. And one of those statements is a lie. And we will take turns. So I'm going to interrogate Isabella first. And I will try and determine which one of her statements is the lie. I'll ask her various questions. You guys can also ask questions in the chats. Don't be shy. You can try and help me figure out which one is the lie. I have 2.5 minutes to interrogate her. And then I have to decide which one is the lie. And we'll see if I was correct. Her goal is obviously to make sure we don't guess correctly. And then once I'm done interrogating her, she can interrogate me. I'm going to pop up the sentences now. Let's see. There we go. Isabella's sentences. I'm going to read them and then I'll start the timer. So the first statement is, I met Ozzy Osbourne. And if you did, I would be jealous. The second statement is, I finished school at 16. Interesting. And number 3, I was born in London. All right, so those are the statements. My 2.5 minutes begins now. Okay, so like you said, you have been dropping hints throughout the interview.
yeah.
I think number 3 is true.
Okay.
You finished school at the age of 16. You mentioned that you were, that was the time when you did the whole South Africa's Got Talent thing, and that you were doing matric. I remember that. So I think that's true.
Okay.
Which means you met Ozzy Osbourne could be a lie. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you met Ozzy Osbourne, if you really met Ozzy Osbourne, you would remember a specific detail about that event, about that time, about that moment.
Yeah.
What year and when?
2006 Los Angeles.
Okay, that was really quick. That was really, really quick.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm like on the ball with this whole thing.
So you made up a story for each one, haven't you?
An elaborate tale for every single question.
All right. Did you meet him in person, or were you like watching him in a concert? I have a minute 15.
Actually, in a hotel lobby.
Oh, in a hotel lobby. Okay, which hotel?
My hotel that I was staying at.
The name of the hotel.
I don't know. I was like 8 years old.
If you were 8 years old, how do you know it wasn't some guy impersonating him?
No, because there was like a massive crowd around him. And like my picture was like in the newspaper and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Why was your picture in the newspaper?
Because I was an 8-year-old South African in Los Angeles competing in a world championships representing the country, and I'd met Ozzy Osbourne.
Damn,
And
these
it
are
was
good
cool.
answers. Okay, I have 35 seconds left. Chico says, maybe she told you earlier she was writing matric when she was 16 just to screw with your brain. Thank you, Chico, for not helping me. 20 seconds left. Oh, man. Okay, finished school when you were 16. I have no question about that. I mean, I think that's true. I got 10 seconds left.
I was about 20 days shy of 17, so...
Okay, that helps me. That doesn't help me. Where were you born in London? What city?
Literally, like, it's St. Thomas's, and then I was like 3 months old when we left, so just it's like centre of London, there by the bridge.
Yeah, you see, I asked that question, and as I asked the question, I was like, that's a stupid question because it helps me in no way, shape, or form.
London, like, I was 3 months old, it's like, yeah. And then I went a weekend, like, last year, and I was like, okay, that's nice and cool.
Well, I do have people commenting saying, so Malcolm thinks that number... Okay, he said 3 and then number 1. So do you think what? Okay, that doesn't help me, Malcolm. People, give me the number that you think is the lie. A hired gun. Okay. Sorry, I read an interesting conversation or comment. Okay, so back to this. Okay, my time is up. I have to decide. You were born in London. That is true. I know that. You finished school or you met Ozzy Osbourne. I don't fucking know.
Stories. Down.
Okay, I'm getting 3 is the lie. No, man, guys, 3 is true. She was born in London. She was born in London. She just admitted that she was born in London. Like Okay, I'm going to go with D. Martin. I'm going to trust her instincts. And I'm going to go with number 1 is the lie.
What's that one? Oh, yeah. Okay.
I met Ozzy Osbourne. Is that the lie?
Must I tell you now?
Yeah.
I actually did meet Ozzy Osbourne in 2006. I was doing World Championships with the Performing Arts. I was singing, and I was in the hotel lobby, and there was this guy, and he'd finished taking pictures. And I don't even know who this man is. And he was like, oh, the little, like, blonde girl, come take... He obviously wasn't Afrikaans, but he said, I can go get a photo with him. And then I got a photo with him, and he was very, very scary. I had no idea who he was until I was told after that, and I was like, "Oh, that's quite cool. That's quite cool." So at the time, I didn't know who the guy was, but I met him, and then I finished school when I was 16 years old, and I was born in Durban.
Oh my word! But you have an English accent.
So my mom.
You have a British accent. Have you been putting that accent on the entire time just to mess with me?
Listen, I think I was like 12 years old, and my mom sent my sister and I to elocution lessons to learn how to speak properly. And my dad's Afrikaans, and my mom is a British citizen.
Okay, now it makes sense.
I did leave when I was 3 months old, but I left KwaZulu-Natal, not London. I mean, I wish. And I did go there for a weekend, but I wasn't born there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well played.
Thank you.
Like a true criminal.
Dirty.
All right. Well, now it's your turn to interrogate moi. And Chico says, "I told you so." Okay, Chico, I should have listened to you. I'm
And I
sorry.
always see that someone I know says I'm a Sharks fan. Yeah, you see, guys, just pay attention, and then you know all the answers. And actually, I laughed so much earlier because a friend of mine was watching, and he said, "No, three's a lie," and I'm like, "It's good you know."
All right, here we go. Now let's see if your friends and everybody in the chats will help you when it
Yeah.
comes to interrogating me. So now you know how the vibe is. Here are my sentences. When you have them in your mind solid, I will start the timer. Sentence number one. I was born in Houston, Texas.
Easton, Texas.
Houston. Houston, you
Houston.
have a problem? Houston, Texas. It's a city. Um, Second statement. I once got attacked by a cow. I'm laughing because I knew you would laugh at that. And then three, last one. I ran away from a spider while having a broken leg.
Okay.
Are you good? Need me to repeat any of it?
No, I think I've also got them here on this little screen, so I
Okay,
can see.
fantastic. Here we go. Timer starts now.
Okay, cool. Was it a girl cow or a boy cow?
Female. Never thought that would be asked.
While it attacked you?
Sorry, say that
Or
again?
did I could have milk coming out of it while it attacked you?
No.
You milking it and then it attacked you.
No.
Why?
I was going into we used to stay on a ranch in Texas, and my dad obviously had cows, and I wanted to go say hi to a baby or a calf, and I didn't know that the mother was around or nearby, and that's why she attacked me, because I was going for a calf.
What's your favorite American state?
My favorite American state.
Yeah.
So my favorite state,
Yeah, obviously.
Texas.
Also, okay. Do you like Nashville?
Never been.
Oh, okay. Why?
Never had the opportunity to go.
Okay, how'd you break your leg?
Broke my leg in a scooter accident when I moved here. 2 weeks into moving here, I bought a scooter, and basically 2 days later, I was taking a right turn, and I looked right instead of looking left to see if someone was coming, and I started to move forward because I thought the road was clear. I wasn't used to driving on the left side of the road, and a motorcycle hit the front of my scooter, and I flew off. And when I tried to get up, I could feel my leg was broken. 50 seconds left.
What did your house look like in Texas?
Sorry?
What did your house look like back in Texas?
Jeez. Which one? We moved around a lot, so we moved about 3 times. But the last one was face brick. When you open the door, nice big living room. To your right is a dining room. You go straight. Around the corner from the dining room was the kitchen. And then my bedroom and my parents' bedroom, they converted their garage into the main bedroom.
Okay, cool. And did this cow hurt you with the attack?
Yes. My dad basically saved my life.
See, now I don't like that, because now that could be like a really nice sap story that I really actually want to believe right now.
12 seconds left.
Not bad if I say that one's a lie. So that one's okay. Because no shame, man. We're gonna leave that one out if anyone's wanting. No, everyone's saying 2. Guys, he just said his dad. Like, leave that alone. It's not nice. What spider was it?
Oh man, it was a rain spider, I think. Was a rain spider.
Okay, listen, man, this is hard because I'm also looking what everyone says, and I'm not gonna like battle with you about this Houston thing. But does Houston have a problem? Just a quick.
It used to, yeah. Not anymore.
Just like making sure. Listen, like I know, like you're from. I don't know where you are, like from the States, and I'm not like good enough to pick up like your accent and see where.
I'm from Texas. That I can tell you. Yeah.
Were you born there?
Yep.
Where were your parents born? Like what descent?
Oh man, it's like a huge mix. Like I'll tell you afterwards. You gotta guess first.
Okay. So hard. I don't want to be wrong. I'm going to actually say that the spider one is a lie because that was like a lot of detail that I felt that was quite unnecessary for your storytelling.
The spider one. Okay, well, everyone seems to think the cow one is the lie, but okay. Um,
It's true. I think the dad story is really hopeful, and I want to keep that one close to my heart
okay,
until I
well,
die. Okay. So,
number one is the lie.
no, when were you born?
Austin, Texas, the capital of Texas. It's funny how you and I both tricked each other with where we were born. That is amazing.
Like, how am I supposed to know?
Now you know how it feels.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm really glad that the cow one is true because I would have been really, really upset.
Yeah, that is very true.
Okay. I mean that's like losing on a technicality. So I technically won there. So you got like the entire country wrong. So with my
Semantics. Yeah, see, Chico's been a regular for a while, and he says here, Joe knew we had all the info on the cow attack. um, it's the cow. Yes, that story was true. The mother then attacked me, and my dad rescued me just in time. She was trampling on me to protect her calf. So that's I understood that. I was being an idiot. And then I ran away from a spider while having a broken leg. That is also true. A spider climbed up the wall while I was lying on the couch, and this was after my motorcycle accident. And it was there, and it just I was so scared. I immediately shot up and was hopping on the to the other side of the room. It was huge though. It was freaking massive.
I hate
And
it, but
yeah, no, I can't handle it either. And then you asked where am I from and what my heritage is. I was born in Austin, Texas. I lived
okay.
there for 9 years, moved to Egypt, lived there for 9 years, then moved here. I've been here for 13 years. My parents are a great mix of a lot of things, mainly American, Egyptian, South African. Yeah, those are the main ones, but my mom's mother is French and Greek. My mom's father is South African, Lebanese, and Egyptian. My dad's side, his father was American. Um, his mother's Canadian, French, and Egyptian. So there's a very big mix. And also, at some point in our heritage, there's also Hispanic descent as well.
I've
Um,
got king in my blood.
nice. Okay, cool. I feel like you're just trying to be part of the team.
That's like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's quite a big mix. Apparently, when you mix all those things, you get a guy like me who looks like the love child of Jay Leno and George Lopez. So,
Yeah.
got a face for TV. Cool. So, the movie The Animal is based on Joe's life. I just read that. Okay,
Yeah.
I must
Oh,
go check that out. Maura Bain says Isabella is so wholesome, lovely breath of fresh air amid all the stress. Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you.
that's really thank you.
Speaking of which, if you want to be even sweeter, you can donate to Zapper, and 80% of what I make tonight will go to Isabella, and 20% will go to me. This is an effort to help my fellow performers during this time. Speaking of which, maybe it's time to bring the guest of honor.
I'm here. Email.
Man. Do you
There's a comment. I would donate, but yeah.
That's Chico. He's a performer as well. So
I feel you deep inside. I feel you. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna bring Rosie out.
cool.
Okay.
Do you need me to like distract people with something or?
No. Rosie,
Oh.
you're live now. Okay, so head.
Hello. Look how nice I look on the camera.
No, Rosie, no, Rosie, that's a tiny rock there. Look at the. Look.
I just look straight at myself, really.
Don't be horrible. Come on, Rosie.
Hello,
Hello, Rosie.
Joe.
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
So tell me, what's it like to be friends with Isabella?
It's okay. No one's actually asked me that before. It's like no one cares about my feelings.
Well, Rosie, I ask you all the time if you're happy.
Well, you have a lot of control over what I say, so I suppose it's very nice being friends with Isabella. She's so lovely and talented. So talented.
Thank you, Rosie.
Exactly. I
I,
feel
I feel like there was a bit of sarcasm there, Rosie.
yeah. I don't really know what sarcasm is. It just comes naturally, really.
It does come naturally.
All right. And what's it like living in a bag?
It's a box, actually.
Is it a box?
Nice box.
Okay.
A box. You
Like a
can't
dollhouse?
see
Is it like a
the
dollhouse?
box. No. I don't know if a dollhouse.
No, you have a box and it's great.
I want a dollhouse. Think dollhouse.
Rosie, she lives in a box and it's a wonderful box.
And Joe, what's your lockdown been like?
What's my lockdown been like? It's been all right. It's been quite boring, if I'm honest. Not really much to do except for YouTube. I've been doing this YouTube channel, interviewing people such as yourself, interesting people, having interesting debates, and having fun with comedians. I'm really enjoying that. Keeps me a bit sane. And your lockdown?
Worse than yours. You don't know what lockdown's like. I'm in that little box all the time with nowhere to go, and all I have to talk to is you.
Well, you can talk to people like us.
It's not the same, Della.
You can't. We can't go see people, Rosie. I've explained this to you so many times.
You know what she makes me do?
What?
Rosie,
She makes me do kids' content.
What's wrong with that?
Content. Kids' content? I have to talk to kids about coronavirus.
yes, and it's informative, Rosie. It's good that it's coming from you so kids can understand it.
What if I don't want to talk to kids?
I think you just can relate to them a lot, Rosie, because you're a kid.
No, I'm not a kid, and I don't want to talk to kids.
Wait a second. How old is Rosie?
I don't know. My label says made in China, but it doesn't date.
Well, I mean, Isabella, when did you find Rosie? Buy Rosie? I don't know if she knows how she was born.
Yes, the crafts when I was about 8 years old. So I bought her.
And then she learned how to use me and abuse me.
Rosie, no.
That's what she did.
Can you, Rosie, do you like doing the kids' content?
Yeah, I do. I actually do like it.
You see, she's fine.
Yeah. I do enjoy the kids' content. We know that we do fairy tales and we travel.
Yeah, we've been traveling in lockdown.
Yeah, we have. We went to Nashville, we went to London, we went to Tokyo.
Yeah, we went to a lot of places. And why is that, Rosie?
'Cause you can go anywhere with your imagination. Kids are
That is so cute. Here's a question, though, Rosie. How would you feel if Isabella ever, I don't know if she does have one now, but, ever found a boyfriend and maybe,
Would you leave me for someone else?
No, of course I wouldn't, Rosie.
You can't have this relationship with anyone else. You can't just put your hand up and just start making and talking.
That's not what relationships are.
Then what is this, Stella? What are we?
We're a team.
Yes, We're a team, and there are no boyfriends in the team.
Rosie, if there was a boyfriend, maybe he would talk to you nicely.
Maybe. If the boyfriend spoke to me now, looks me in the eye, and spoke to me like I'm the real person, I just want him to treat me like a real person.
Deal.
Wait, Rosie.
I don't want
Rosie,
away from.
do you have a type for Isabella? Like, if she was like, do you have a type that you feel maybe?
Green card.
Well, that's good. That narrows it down a bit.
Yeah.
Rosie, relationships aren't all about the passports,
Oh, we'll settle for a British passport. It's okay.
Settle for one.
No, Rosie, no. Like, you have to be honest now. Who would you like me to be with?
Zac Efron.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll settle for Zac Efron.
Settle.
You'll settle.
I will settle.
There you go.
All right. Oh man.
The typical real guy look. That's Zac Efron look. I think some guys who look like Zac Efron.
Do I?
Yes, you should date them.
All of them.
All of them.
At
Well,
the same time.
that's definitely not a children's message.
on many things.
Oh man. Have you met Rosie? Have you met Isabella's parents?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I have. Her dad doesn't find me funny. Every once in a while he goes, But her mom laughs. She cackles at me. Cackle, 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 cackle. She thinks I'm hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's the endless motherly support.
I see someone in the chat says Mr. Punisher says so I stand a chance then.
Your eyes is a scary face. I don't want a scary face.
That's not a person. That's just an animated icon.
Oh,
Yeah. I think the Punisher's a really nice guy. I've never met him personally. But,
Punisher. I don't want you to date someone like that.
Like when I genuinely say like I laugh. It's not like a condition. I just genuinely find it.
It's not a condition. Are you worried people think you're crazy now?
I would have people like question me. I'm like, I'm stable when she's in her box. I am fine.
Yeah, she's alright. Sometimes I hear her talking to me when I'm not even there. I'll be in the box and I hear, oh, hi, Rosie, and I hear my voice.
That's not. That doesn't happen.
I'm sure it does. We have a question. Estelle wants to know, are you on TikTok? Are you and Rosie on TikTok?
Why aren't we on TikTok?
Well, I have one video on TikTok. I was like, oh, let me try this thing. But then I realized we have two pandemics of our time, coronavirus and TikTok. So currently I'm not. But I actually, I do need to get you on TikTok. I would love to. So
You lost. I'm trying to find Estelle. Yes, we're gonna try and get on TikTok, aren't we?
Yeah,
yes.
you should.
In fact, I personally am gonna do it. Forget Isabella. We don't need her, Estelle. Just you and me.
Cool. So she'll be on TikTok.
Have you had a boyfriend like in the past 5 years?
Yes. Yeah.
And how did they fare with Rosie?
Well.
Like it didn't get
It really-
weird, did it? Because I'm sure this is a question on everyone's mind. It didn't get weird.
Well, no, I actually, the one human being in my life, he talks to her.
Okay.
and will look and not talk to me, and that's, I think it's a little bit creepy. I don't know if that's what I want from a partner, to look at Rosie in her eyes, have a genuine
Wait.
conversation.
Did you think that he loved her more than you?
Always do, you know. He was such a nice person, Dilla. It just, you know, we did talk a little bit without you.
Okay. Okay. I remember my ex, the one I did all the jokes about, because it was very easy to make jokes about him. She made a lot of jokes about him. He flat out ignored her completely, acting like she didn't exist. And I was like, this. It's actually why I ended the relationship. I was like, you're not treating both of us with the equal amount of respect as you should. So I ended the entire relationship.
Stupid. I just want to see, you know, Joe, like you talk to me like you should. Because you know, like I remember when DJ Fresh and I were friends, he would talk to me.
Would he?
Yes, I liked DJ Fresh.
That's her crush.
I thought it was Zac Efron. I can't keep up anymore.
He's on the day, really.
Rosie has a new love interest. That's this sort of thing. I mean, recently it was Donald Trump. I don't know where that one came from, but
I mean, he's quite good looking if you think about it.
no, Rosie.
I think him and look quite similar.
Yeah.
Hair and
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
you're American.
Means you know, is it?
Yes, he knows all American things. Are you patriotic?
Yes, I am. But I'm patriotic about South Africa and America.
Oh, so then you kind of know what Della feels like, you know, because she has two different interests, herself and me. You have South Africa and America. Which is better?
That's a tough one. That really is a tough one. At the moment, I don't know. And I know that sounds kind of sad, but I really don't, because both countries are in trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, which one do you think I should be the president of?
Wow, if you were to be the president of a country, I think you would do much better than our current president. So South Africa, yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
You have different opinions.
I don't know, Rosie. You can have your own opinion. I stay out of politics. You can have your own opinion on this one.
I like President Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he's been very good, don't you?
Well, he's made really good speeches.
Yeah, he's much better than Brontosaurus Rex.
I think we're watching different speeches. But I think you would make an excellent president no matter which country you were part of. You would really need to get rid of the real puppet, which is behind you. She's holding you back.
I took a while to get that one. I thought you were going there with like presidents and all, calling them puppets.
Which they are.
I think that Rosie should be, she believes that she can be the president of the entire world.
Which is true. I'm going to take over the world, Della. I'm going to take over the world. You know how?
How?
I'm going to get a factory in China to make a whole lot of Rosies just like me, just slightly smaller, and we're going to take over the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also like, okay.
Rosie's dream, apparently. I mean, I have different dreams for us. I thought we could have an Ellen show, just us.
Hey, that's cool.
You can do that as the president.
You can do that as the president if that's what you want. I've seen a comment. What's your opinion on the thesis that Trump is actually a stand-up comedian?
I don't see that one yet. Oh, there we go. Well, I think you can answer.
What do you think?
I think that no matter what industry you are in, you always need a touch of humor to get you through your day. And that, Joe, is why I should be the president of the world, because I come out with quotes like that.
Well, you've got my vote, Rosie. And then the Storm Legacy says, play date with Chester missing.
I'm yet to meet the man, so
He's still missing in our opinion.
yep, we haven't met him. So if you find him, let us know.
Oh,
He
man.
hasn't us.
All right, well, we're approaching the hour, and I like to keep it to an hour so that people will watch it. If we go over an hour, people tend to go like, oh, I don't want to see more than an hour. So, Rosie, thank you so much for being the guest on the show. It was a pleasure chatting to you, and you've entertained us endlessly.
Thank you. I love being on this laptop thing with the live and the people.
Yes, we're still learning what it is. She doesn't understand yet.
No, I don't. I just can't see the people talking to me.
Well,
She doesn't understand.
and Isabella, I would like to thank you as well for being willing to be so kind to join me on the show and let me get to know you a little bit better. I hope that once everything is back to normal somewhat, I'll see you on the stage at a show, hang out, and make people laugh once again when everything is normal. But you have been phenomenally entertaining. Everyone is saying what a great show this is and how funny you are, how cute you guys are. Yeah, everyone is blown away. And they're saying, please have Isabella again and Rosie, and they're asking for your Twitter information. If you have Twitter, I don't know.
Every Isabella Jane Inc., and that's Inc. with an INC.
There you go,
Yeah.
Isabella Inc. Yeah, you are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just type in Isabella and Rosie, Isabella Jane and Rosie. You'll find them. Do you have a website?
Not currently, but I'm working on a whole revamp of everything, so I'll have that up soon.
All right, cool. What I like to do with my guests at the end of the show is give you guys a moment to, 2-3 minutes if you want to just say a message to everyone that's watching at the moment as a final goodbye. And then I'll sign off, but stay on the line. I'll give you a proper goodbye once I've completely gone off air. So yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay, so let's start with the YouTube videos.
Okay, so guys watching, if you want to see more of little Rosie here doing kids content that is always the Disney vibe, so always good for adults too, you can check us out on our videos, which are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We have Travel Tuesdays, Fairy Tale Fridays, and Bible Story Sundays. And my Instagram handle and all my social media handles is Isabella Jane Inc. That's ISABELLA JANEINC, and everything else is Isabella Jane and Rosie. So yeah, check us out, be in touch, and any other shows, I'm keen, I'm around, we're all free. Hey Joe, we're all free. And I will definitely be back here if Joe will have us. So thank you guys. And yeah, Rosie, anything?
Yeah, stay safe and stay sanitized.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Isabella and Rosie, so much for joining me tonight on Sit Down and Lockdown. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, every now and again I have interviews with comedians. Next week I will have a comedian on the show again. His name is Liam Bento, a very funny guy. I think it's also on Thursday evening next week. And I'll definitely have Isabella and Rosie back on the show. Yeah, that was really fun, really entertaining. And like I said, it was the first time I met her. So yeah, we got to know each other, which was great. And I've got so many more questions. It sounds like she's lived a very interesting life. So we'll definitely have her back. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that you can donate. So when you donate, whatever I make tonight will go 80% to Rosie and Isabella, and the other 20% to me. This is to help my fellow performers during this time of lockdown when there's basically nothing that we can do. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. And I'll catch you at the next one. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. And please go check out Isabella and Jane. As you can see, they are a phenomenal pair. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night. I'll see you at the next one.